but yeah. So no, it's a pretty good experience. And it really hasn't been that long since I tried to do a phone call that I was not able to reach this person. So, and they're busy or having home issues, I think so. I commented on some of this just the other day. So anyway, kind of want to wait till there's viewers. There was one that, even to say this bit, but once it's posted afterwards, again, the knowledge that even if the video doesn't have a lot of comments, sometimes it usually does pretty good during, and it varies some, but and I'm sure I didn't really need to tell Mark or Kelly that I'm rolling right now because they can. Yeah, it's both of the ideas that I had something else on because the app reloads so easily. I'll just look at breakfast. I haven't really actually been watching a ton, so I'll look at that. But I'd rather watch that in the morning with our lovely breakfast, and then. But anyway, that was an hour ago. His comment to one of his videos. So hopefully, my one friend didn't go right to bed afterwards. And then the other one was in the UK. So yes, it's getting uh, a bit late there, but yeah. Oh, really? Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Anyway, sorry. Um, there's always lots we can watch, but kind of like to try and finish one thing before going to the next. When I'm watching things. Um, I don't want to talk it too quickly, but one thing I am going to do is this. And um, I'll do one other kind of setup thing. I thought it said there was somebody there for me. That must have been
To build an app with your name on it.
Oh, that's the only thing, and maybe that's what I should have done. But I went upstairs. He had his there. It is more portable, but that's the other thing. Well, that's true. Not too many people have said there's a lot of advertisements interrupting things. Because I could have done it on here. I could have, but I haven't. So, on the laptop. So I'm going to add that in though. Sorry if any advertisements interrupt. When I do these via the computer. I can set the level of interruption, but I found, but I thought of that after I started rolling today. Have a nice. Yeah, I don't think. I don't think that. Look, we got two people at this. Okay, just a moment here. I'm going to bring this over here. Um, so nice. Thank you for the like. Okay. Let's see here. Whoops. Did I hit the wrong thing? Okay. Girly GIA. Interesting channel name. What is GIA? And to people that hear that word, that other word afterwards and think it's a kid, I don't need to know how old people are necessarily, but girl can be any age, if that's a female or female identifying. Sunflower in the dark. Hello, how are you? I'm just putting something through here. Sunflower in the dark is a very interesting channel name. Is that a music group or what is that? Let me look at this here because we're already getting some different thing, showing it a little bit different here than it is here, or maybe not. Let's see here. How are you? This. Okay, I'm gonna have to ask for a little bit of translation. I don't know if it's because I have the translation option on, but you guys seem to be talking English, so I got a bit of lotion in my eye or something. But for instance, uh, okay, I see though. I didn't know that. I could hover over the ones with the little symbols, and it tells me what they already say. So I still don't know what GIA is though. Um, Canada, how about you? So I'm just looking between my two screens. I don't necessarily maybe hugely need to, but just if I need to, it's there. Um, yeah, so Canada, how about you? And you just love sunflowers. They are a very neat flower, that is true. They often get very tall, though I feel like there might be more than one type. And spring flowers are going to start popping up in a lot of places. Oh, hello, hey now, but the person isn't. And no, I don't know. They've got a huge center. They're often can be very tall. And I'm glad that you made it back. By the way, Luke. Uh, like I say, I put a little note there, hoping that advertisement. One of the things I put was that I hope advertisements don't. And let me just say to Sunflower, and thank you for the third like. Um, to the person that just said, if you're noticing that, uh, just under your comment there, this person was on my previous stream. I decided to re-roll because my device wasn't streaming very well on my other device, and so I'm borrowing the other person in the house's cell phone because he's on a laptop. But I'm wondering if I should have done this on the laptop. Anyway, though I'm not very familiar with Luke, he seems like a lovely person. We were starting to have a good chat, and I'm glad that you made your way back here. Thank you for the hearts also. So don't take offense to him saying that. He may just have even been joking. I only have 9 subs, and I'm going through small content creators' lives. Well, we've been at it for a while, so don't necessarily classify as that, but it's nice to make someone's day online, a fellow content creator as well. Do you do videos as well, Sunflower? And is there a first name I can call you? And why specifically in the dark? Because they're in the dark, you can't see them as well. And if that wasn't a joke that Luke said, then he's like, well, that's just as well, cuz they're not my favorite flower. So with spring coming, though, here's a great question. If not a sunflower, what is your favorite flower? I might prefer to call you Sunflower, actually. Or a nickname. Have a nickname or a middle name. No offense, it's just, I don't know. I associate the name with something and I'm a little bit... Hey, I like your positivity. It's great to see. I try. E-Ls, is it? Is that short for Elizabeth? You don't have to tell me, but I'm just wondering. I love sunflowers. I do apologize. No offense intended. And thanking me for what I said. And freak me out. Short for Elliot. Okay, which is a lovely name. Just saying. It moves. I haven't known a lot of Elliots in my life. I don't even know if I've known any, to be honest. And that's a little more than 20 years old. but not much, but a little bit. But I do know of I do know of somebody from a singing competition that whose name was Elliot, and he seemed pretty cool. I worked with someone who kind of reminded me of him a little bit. Not that there was anything specifically unique about him, but and tulips, 1, 2, 3 would be weird, wouldn't it? No, just kidding. You're welcome. Um, Roses as well. I actually confused the two, but I think tulips are more. We'll be able to get our flowers out soon. We have a very unique. We have a bit of a shop, bit of collecting, and that. And but the dog's laying there nicely in front of me, and I don't really feel like going down there and being that personal at the moment. But we also have a lot of plants down there right now, waiting to come outside. So we have some roses and some tulips, and where's everybody watching from, by the way? If you haven't already told me, um, yeah. So it's really nice that spring is starting in a lot of places, like where I'm at in Canada. Favorite music? Anything except for metal or blues. Not big about jazz. Um, I guess I'm not huge about opera. I can sing it. I actually can sing opera better than, not that I know a lot of it, but better than I can sing rap. I don't mind rap. But so, yes, maybe we could do some music because the past 2 or 3 streams I've been intending to do music. And actually, I guess I did do a little bit earlier today. Was it yesterday? Anyway, I did a couple of guitar songs and then G was on the piano. But I need my coffee. Uh, I don't have one. I don't have one. There's way too many. How about you? Is that an easy question for you? Because it's not for me. Something I grew up seeing, the Bluebell. Oh, another UK person. Okay, there's lots from the UK here. Um, I'm hoping Mark and Kelly have, or one of them hasn't been. I like your positivity. It's great to see. Yeah, I do deal with depression. I do struggle. You know, I do struggle with. It's hard sometimes, right? I'd love to hear you. I would too. So, what would you like to hear me play? It's been so long. Actually, it's amazing because I've not been able to reach all my goals. But one of them is to keep doing it on here, and that's accessible, and that doesn't require driving or booking a gig, and loud places and things like that. So anything. Okay, well, like I say, I have a hard time thinking up stuff. Like I say, I don't gig a lot, so I don't have a repertoire list, and I just kind of look things up in the moment, kind of thing. There's a couple of songs I've been kind of getting into, but I just feel like I've done them so much lately that one's Lucas Graham and one's Ed Sheeran, if that helps at all. Um, um, we have someone in the house that does a lot of classical, although not only. And if I had some peanuts and cashews before I started, and I'm gonna have to keep drinking stuff. Hydration is important. Lucas is good. Well, you would say so, wouldn't you? You would, with a name like yours. It has to be good. I actually think I only know about 3 or 4 of his songs. 2 of them, I don't think I'd be comfortable doing. The other one's one of the ones I did recently a few times, and I recently learned it. And the 4th one is, I'll sing a little bit of it anyway, but then I have to top up my beverages. But I don't know if I understand or I don't know what I think about the lyrics because it says you probably never live. But no, actually, do something that you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with a lot of stuff. I've been musical all my life, but I've been musical all my life and all my lives. Anyway, I think I might do that one. It's a little less long ago, but not much since I've done it. Tablet, where are you? Tablet, where are you? Just gonna go grab my tablet and the guitar to look it up. And step on the dog's chew stick. And do you guys mind if it's a love song? I'm not necessarily singing it as a love song to you, unless you'd like to. I'm talking to you all, just in case you think I'm talking to someone else in the house. I'm not. I was going to say there is no one else in the house. A lot of time there isn't, but it's the weekend, so there is. And then, of course, there's the dog. Okay, so I'm just heating up my coffee. I've got one song idea. You know what I'd love more song ideas about? Other than if there is any opera-ish things that you, yeah, that one's, it is, but it mentions, okay, the dog just settled back down, but I haven't gotten everything I need over here yet. It mentions young people having addictions, and it's a very interesting song, though. It really is. I've done it not that long ago. Where were you about 7 to 8 streams ago, I tell you. Go. But then you we'll talk. And I have to figure out, where's my guitar? Oh, right, you put it over here. I have to figure out dinner in a bit. Well, he has got leftover pizza. I don't. Well, I mean, I do, but I'd rather save it for tomorrow morning. But you know what? He'll want to come down and play piano, and I'll figure out the other person in the house, and I'll figure out dinner then. Did I grab my tablet? No. Or did I? I feel like I did. Sorry for being disorganized. I appreciate your patience. I think you've already heard me sing a couple of lines. I stepped on that. And so, yeah. So anyway, are you guys musical? Any of you? Not at all. Okay, not at all. And don't at all mind if I do a love song. Okay, cool. Because I'm gonna. And that's really great that you are fellas, and I don't know which way you swing, but that you are comfortable with that. A good song is a good song, right? I should have said yes to that, but I slid it close. Only harmonica. Do your thing, mate. I have a cool story about harmonica, though. I do. I have performed with somebody locally who's also lived in the UK. I want to say Leicester. I'm by Leicester. Also in Vancouver. But he has done musical work with David Bowie, the Beatles, and played with a lot of people here in Canada and in Vancouver. Including me, not like in a band or anything, but like at an open mic. Hi, oh hello again, Jaylene. Welcome back. At an open mic place I used to go to. He's actually since passed away, but I also moved from the area and just haven't really been much. Yeah, I do too, but I think, and I thought I added that to that, but this is cold and this is not, and I'm particular. Anyway, yeah. So his name was Chris Palmer. He's lived in, like I say, a lot of different places. And actually, my guitar case, he had more than one case. And my guitar case, he lent me one because I was having difficulties with the zipper of my case. So I've got a case, speaking of royalty, that is connected to someone who's done that stuff. His bandmate, I taught his bandmate's daughter guitar a little bit. And she had a very interesting story too. Her son had been homeless and he'd passed away. I think he had addiction issues. The guitar had been sitting there. I came across her and I think I recognized the two fellows in one of her pictures. We got to talking. She came for one lesson. She learned very quick. And then she went on vacation, got engaged, had to come back to be doing her teaching job. And then she kind of was also struggling with her mental health for whatever was going on. I don't know. But anyway, so, and that's a very important topic too. So, like, if anybody feels like you need to get something off your chest, this is a safe space to do so, and no shame in it, okay? But the reason why I mentioned him, which may not have been obvious because I didn't say it yet, the reason why I mentioned this fella is because he played a 12-string guitar and a harmonica, often at the same time. Mostly originals, but some covers. Yeah, the Beatles, though, speaking about overrated, I feel like they kind of are. Like, I don't hate them. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. If you suggest the right song, maybe I'd do it. But I had some stuff open here from the other day. G is kind of trying to learn this James Blunt song called Higher. It's true I did it on the piano the other day, but see, this is where I'd rather do it on here if I can do so. Oh, right. That's why you're mentioning that song. I just don't, I always think of that when I think of that word, and I don't like that song personally. It's not. I don't feel like it's got positive energy. It might be a fine tune or melody, but that's fine. You know, there's lots of others that there's to pick from. Sorry that I'm taking a while here. I'd rather follow it on here. I can zoom the font. An instrument you want to learn to play. Good question. I actually funny. I recently answered that one and said uh, trombone or tuba, and then I met a trombone player a few days later. But she doesn't think that she's, you know, she thinks she's very average. But she, you know, a lot of people don't give themselves enough credit. You know, uh, you agree with me about the song. You agree with me about the Beatles. What are you agreeing with? I appreciate it though. It's nice to be agreed with. I agree with you agreeing with me. So, it's a great experience. I didn't need to. You didn't need to rush it. Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna, and I should close those, but right now I'm focused on that, and that's something that's gonna take. Hopefully, talking. Hopefully, Mark can help me with it, or I don't know. I mean, I don't want to talk about it. Anyway. Yeah. So okay. So you guys, that's a good song, but a heavy one. I'm sorry. Which one? The one that you put in the comments already? Because I don't. Well, I did mention one, but it's not heavy. Yeah, heavy. He's my brother. Or maybe she is too. You know, could be possible. You know. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. And like I said, but heavy, not like heavy sounding, but heavy content kind of. Right. Okay. So I'm going to do the one I first thought of, and then I'll come back to this. Graham. How do you spell his name again? Hopefully Leanne pops into this. She's in the, no, she's not in the UK. So it's actually earlier there. Anyway, chords. To, what's the song called that goes, when you love someone, you open up your heart. So you can tell I'm good, right? Now, I don't mean to have an ego. I just have confidence. Sometimes it's amazing that I do, but lately, when I've been doing music again on YouTube, lately, you know, people are enjoying it. That helps. But I just, you know, I can recognize, and it doesn't. It can be a unique version of a song or whatever, but you know, I can tell talent when I see it, when I hear it, both actually. You know, for the most part. You know, it's and I think that's partly because I have some, you know. So no, I don't mean to, you know, sound egotistical. We can all have a healthy ego, right? Love someone, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. So it's really lovely to meet you, brothers. I appreciate it. uh, uh, Now this song, like I said, I did it not that long ago, and when I did it, I get literal with lyrics sometimes. As a writer, as a life coach, psychologist, chapstick if you cares, chapstick if you're not, as a musician. And thank you for the hearts. And there's a part that says it pretty much accuses the listener of never loving someone. And most of us, I don't actually care who we are, most of us have loved someone. But when I relook at the line again, and of course, music is open to interpretation, um, and see, I just sang this little snippet. You knew what song I was talking about, so that's cool. Uh, if you're not afraid to lose those that you love, I think what it's trying to say is there really love there? I think is what it's saying. So I'm going to do this song. Sounds like one of you is already familiar with it a little bit. And then I'll maybe look at this device, I'll look at this device. You might suggest ones, and we'll focus on music because as much as I want to be here to help talk people through, you know, something difficult they might be going through, and I don't know, my throat and my sinuses are a little bit distracting me, but you guys are wanting to enjoy some of the music, so I don't want to just give you rambling, you know. Um, I find it fairly easy to do, but I want to give you a bit more variety, a bit more bang for your buck, you know what I mean? Uh, okay. No, yeah, I do. I think of singing this to like a lover, but you know what? Also friends, right? Even new ones like we're making here. So yeah, because yeah, actually, I don't think I'm familiar with any of the. Well, I am, I guess now, but so can I call you Elliot, or I'll call you L. How's that? Or I don't know what I'm calling. Just don't call you late for dinner, right? Do you have a nickname? I don't know. Like I said, I know I said I like the name Elliot, but it was well, there's a couple of things to make me think of, even though I've not met many of them. So yeah, I mean, I'm curious if you have a nickname and if you'd like to give me one, feel free. Um, and then yeah, okay, so let's do this. I think I want to put my socks on first because my feet are starting to get a little chilly. And the other thing I was asking, I don't know if I spoke very well, as opposed to not too sure what that means. Sounds kind of odd. Yeah. Anywho, okay, let's do this. Yeah, a lot of harmonica players play guitar as well. I don't. Well, I guess, and yeah, it's kind of funny. After seeing that person, that reminded me of that place, and he was actually in a band with the host of the place, the open mic nights, and not that guy though, and she played harmonica too, I believe. Yeah, Eva J. D. Seaton. Uh, I recognize that name from a few days ago, I think. I don't know what you're trying to say by your comment that's just dots, but maybe you accidentally sent those through. But yeah, I think I remember you. Do you feel like you've been here before? Are you experiencing deja vu? Okay, let's do the song, hey? I appreciate your patience, everybody. I think the number may be inaccurate. Sometimes it is. It says that there's one of you here, but unless somebody's phone died, I think there's actually three of you. Because one just got here or just came into the comments, and the other two didn't seem like you were rushing off. So, so I appreciate it. Too many waters over here, and I thought, thank you for the hearts. I thought that I just topped off a cold one, but I guess most of that was full. Anyway, don't mind me. Okay, remember hydration, whether you're singing or not, talking out loud or not. And that cooled off fast. Okay, let's do this. Woo! And yeah, I'll probably bring the other one because it fits in the case and it's smaller. I didn't have this guitar back when I knew Chris. Okay, here we go. Now, sometimes this site requires you to reload the page so it will scroll. Right now, it's just being right silly. To use British slang. But I open it in another tab and we're good. Okay. Woo! Good things come to those who wait, not to toot my own bugle, but I was going to try and do a rap thing, make something up on the spot. Sometimes I'm good at it. Other times, obviously, I'm not. But before I start this song, one of the other things I did want to say is if anybody has any song requests that are lefty, no, actually. No, but you know what? The camera might be reversing. I don't know why cameras do that, but actually, most musicians, and honestly, I think most people, whether they admit it or not, they have a dominant, but I would say most people are ambidextrous. And this came up in conversation recently. But I don't know why cameras do that, though. I really don't. But yeah, so no, this is a right-handed guitar. And I'm glad that you're still here, Luke. Yeah, as I was mentioning earlier, there is another Luke that sometimes follows the channel, so we'll have to figure that out if you're both here at the same time. But anyway, anyway, so yeah, that was a name. Anyway, so basically though, if anybody has any song requests that are rap fusion, I think you should know what that means. But if you don't, basically they're not rap songs, but there's a little bit of rapping in them. I might be curious to try and cover some of those. Because I'm not a proficient rapper, but I can do things like that, I think. opera, like I say, if anybody's got any suggestions for that, I might find myself at the keyboard in a moment. And I hate to. I'm just gonna put my rest of my coffee in the fridge for now. And yeah, I do not have a cold water to go with this, so I'm just gonna do that, and then we will start the song. I appreciate your patience. We're having a nice conversation as well, so that's good. Oh, maybe I left it on the counter. And as far as a snack, that may be better for my throat, like that lovely salsa, which didn't seem very salsa-y. Okay, so I'm going to do this song, and then top up my waters. Okay, so, and it sounds like at least one of you knows this song. Just to give you a quick sample, though, in case maybe you guys aren't really opera people, and I'm not hugely, but just to give you a quick little sample of some opera stuff. Oh, so there you have it. It's like, oh yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. If only he would focus. If only he would focus and play the darn song. Now, where's my pick? Now I can't find his pick. Oh my goodness. No, but seriously, I just had it a moment ago. I do see something I could use instead. Make sure it's not on the floor. Not that I can see. I tell you, it's a bit of a comedy of errors show too, or a comedy show as well, right? Usually, yeah. Oh, there it is. How was I not seeing that? I don't know. I promise that it was not part of the. That was not written in. None of this really is, to be honest. But now I'll do some pre-written song lyrics. Great pitch. Was it a pitch? Was it? I'm just checking to see very quickly. Yeah, music covers, and I believe I pinned it, right? Yeah, it'd be lovely. I just had a lovely visual, and we're doing the best that we can with the internet, and at least it's something, and it's lovely, and we can talk from such a distance. But I just had a thought that that it'd be lovely to have you here playing harmonica. I must admit, it's not a favorite instrument. It's not a least favorite either, though. So I will imagine you. You know, I want you to listen and enjoy. But do you post on your channel? Do you? Do you really? Because I'm telling you something. Well, first of all, yeah, but again, like I say about the harmonica, and that's the only thing you play, right? Because yeah. Anyway, let's do the song. For goodness sakes, let's do the song. I'm not meaning to use religion in vain. That's right, it's goodness, not godness. But is God goodness? Anyway. In fact, not because of me, just because of the way she is, her personality or whatever. Lex, who plays the harmonica, the one I was just mentioning, she sometimes sighs. But, and watch. Like, Hymuth, not Simon, but Hymuth would tune in. And there was a band that my former bandmate was in that had the word sign. Anyway. Okay. Ooh. Why does it sound so dull? That didn't sound like that earlier today. Doesn't it sound like it sounds weird? Or is it me? I don't sound weird, I know that. But like, and nothing's covering it. It does say sound dull. I think it was maybe just a little out of tune. But now it's in tune, I think. So let's do this thing. Okay. A little bit, honestly. The vocals will make up for it. My tuner app has not been working. The person I live with can kind of tune it to the piano, and I learned that when I was a kid. I don't know if I'm any good at doing it now, but I feel like, and I'm always worried I'm going to break a string. But you said a little, so anyway, I think I fixed it though too. So forgive me if it is, and if it is, and it's really like, no, I don't care how good your vocals are. I hate to put this in your head, but you know, it really doesn't sound good on the guitar. I'll switch to the piano. or the keyboard. So there. Your day, wake up and I find out someone else. I know, like I said, it hasn't been working lately. So I'm just going to continue with the song, but yeah, it hasn't been working. But I know that, and anyway, it actually stays in quite good tune because I've been playing a bit lately. So I'm going to start again. But it actually, yeah, for an old guitar with old strings, and also it doesn't maybe come through on the. I know some people say excuses, but I know you guys are understanding, whether you have a lot of musical background or not. Like, yeah, it also I've noticed in playback sometimes that it sounds more twangy or tinny than it otherwise does. I don't know if that depends on what device you listen on. I don't usually look back at them when I'm throwing them to G, who's sometimes not around when I do them or whatever, with headphones. So I don't think that's as much of a thing. If you're, I mean, unless you're worried about waking somebody up, then yeah, or whatever, then yeah, sure, use headphones. But otherwise, be comfortable. And if you don't find headphones comfortable, then don't wear them. And sometimes I'll be a little loud, so you certainly shouldn't struggle to hear me. Anyway, here we go. There are days, and hopefully we'll have it. Well, he's not going to be anytime soon, but sometimes I have a person on flute or piano join me. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and I hope to see you guys here often. But I'm in no particular rush. So here we go. There are days I wake up and myself. Looking at someone else, I was thinking I'm still all the same. You still look perfect, days go by, even the first one makes me smile. I'll stop the world. If you love someone, you open up your heart. If you love someone, it proves. If you love someone, and you're not afraid to lose them, you probably never loved someone like I do. Oh, thank you. Probably never loved someone like I do. When you say you love the way I make you feel, everything is so real. Don't get scared, no, don't be scared. Just for the heart. You still look perfect. Days go by, even the worst one make me smile. I'm glad you can hear me when I'm looking away. I should have this more front on. Yeah, I don't do gigs. I don't drive. I don't do bars. So here's where I'm at. Thank you for all the hearts. I appreciate it. I already sent your love, but it's good for other people to see what we're doing. It encourages them to love. Not that they should need encouragement, but when you love someone, you open up your heart. When you love someone, it proves. If you love someone and you're not 100% loser, you probably never loved someone like I do. You probably never loved someone like I do. All my life, I thought it'd be hard to find. I don't know this part. One till found you, found it sweet. See this? Okay, so that was a cover sample. I thought I'd played this song before, but maybe I had just listened to it and so I knew how that part went, but I didn't. So I do strongly apologize for that. Um, but yeah, um, but you guys will have to come to Canada someday. We can jam in person, and I can see you as an audience member in person. But this is what's accessible to me right now. Yeah, I mean, I don't hear the audience. I don't, necessarily make money, but you know what? It's still enjoyable. I'm off. Okay, and yeah, let's do some more Beatles songs next time. Maybe, yeah, okay, yeah. You maybe have an early morning tomorrow. I'm glad you made it back. Like say the bell. We'll see you again sometime. Thank you for calling me friend so quickly in the previous stream as you left before. Uh, yeah. Thank you for the Thank you for the music, the song we're singing. Thank you for the joy it's bringing. Asking all honesty, I can see. Thank you for the music, for giving it to me. Anyway, what do you want in, baby? Here, and so you're religious, okay? That's fine. I do respect other people's religion. I will say that I'm agnostic because that's true. I feel like, to me. But yeah, so I work in spiritual healing. I'm a very diverse, colorful, not colorful maybe, but diverse individual. But I'm all about the good stuff. Yeah, dance stream. Oh, that sounds fun. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Mate, it's okay. I like the key you sing at. Yeah, sorry, like I say, it was off to the side. It was just felt really far away over here, but I could move this table and make the dog move. I don't know if that really made much difference, but let me. My eyes are tired and old. I like the key. By the way, I do have a keyboard and a piano, like I say. Have you ever considered doing gigs? I was just mentioning that. Pay attention. No, just kidding. I was mentioning that I've done open mics, but it's been a while. Oh, this is a very interesting comment to me. So just a moment here, please, and thank you. That Yeah, like I say, I don't like bars. I don't drive. I don't actually like a lot of man. It's showing me all kinds of live streams. I'm getting distracted from my own live streams because of other streamers. So I appreciate your focus. You keep me focused. Um, uh, but yeah, so I don't like super late nights. I don't like really loud places. I mean, not like I did in my 20s anyway. I mean, maybe I'd surprise myself and there's some variables. And I know that sometimes you got to put up with those things, but also I'm on the autism spectrum. So let's put that as one of the reasons. You love Canadians. That's great. We love the British Australians. Honestly, the accents sound very similar, and that's one of the things I like most. But of course, the individuals too. Aside from online, especially on YT, I don't know a lot of them. I feel like, but Australia for 4 years. Well, Sydney by any chance? And what was I coming to this for again? Oh, right, I remember now. Yeah, Sydney by any chance? Uh, because I have a brother that was in a famous band there, a sibling, actually. It makes sense to clarify that, I think, because, like, lots of us have brothers and sisters that aren't siblings, if we look at things that way. But, like, you know, as much as I geographically and otherwise am not that close to my brother, I am proud of, I sometimes feel a little bit jealous, but I try not to. I am proud of the life that he has been able to live and the things he's been able to do. Every now and then, although I have my own things to be proud of and that our dad is proud of us for and this and that, but Um, every now and then, but rather, um, he, sometimes I'm a bit more proud, with him. But Cairns, that's, is it Carberry is the capital? Is that correct? North Australia. I don't personally like big cities like Sydney or Melbourne. Okay. No, I can understand that. I think I have heard of Cairns. I worked with a musical person last name Cairns, and also Carrier. But well, have you ever heard of Geerling? He's actually in France now. He's also lived in London near Haney, I think, or Haynes or something, UK. But I don't know what part of France he's in now. But have you ever heard of the band Geerling? I once had somebody on here, like they haven't been a band for like 12 years. But I thank you for the heart. You're like, yes, I have. Heart, heart, heart. What's the connection? No, just kidding. Unless you were here and heard me say it. What do you call it? I had a viewer on here once. He seemed to be telling me that um, his uncle has played music with them. But I think that may have been when my brother left. I don't know. I've been meaning to ask, but we're not the greatest at keeping in touch with each other, and he has done a couple things recently that have sort of annoyed me that I'm not quite past yet. Gerling. But I have written a song about him. If you want to hear an original, I mean, I could do that. I could do that, No, just kidding. But they were a band for quite a while. They were actually pretty big in London. Like I say, I think he lived in Haney. Um, and but I've never been to the UK, and I was in Australia once. I was just talking about that trip in a previous stream and an interesting yodeling connection. But when I was there, it was under a week and on a budget. And I know some people say, and they're probably more avid travelers, or at least Mark is, and they'll say, a week's a pretty good, or about a week. They're like, that's a pretty good amount of time. But uh, yeah, so, and I didn't get hugely adventurous, but it was neat. It was neat to go there. Um, but yeah, they were big in London, I believe, or at least, yeah, London specifically, I think, which is why I think, well, maybe not why, but uh, yeah. So, and he was actually on the Japanese version of the Rolling Stone magazine on the cover, albeit not the most flattering face he was making. But I mean, how many people can say that we have a sibling that's been or any Rolling any on the cover of any? It's kind of funny because I think that, and I can't believe I've never made this connection. What's the matter with me? No, still trying to figure that out. No, just kidding. Not that much. I actually am pretty well I'm pretty put together and got a good head on my shoulders, as you could probably tell. Not trying to toot my own bugle, but it's only true. Anyway, but what do you call it? I think that was one of my uh, dad's favorite songs. I lost my dad quite young, and there's two songs. In fact, the other one, that's who else Chris played with, Joe Cocker. Um, and there's some irony. So, and it's something I should always carry with me. I don't really want to do the song, but there's irony in a couple ways, and I kind of did sort of mumble one of the reasons earlier. I don't know if you picked up on it when we were talking about playing love songs, and I said a certain something. But anyway, sometimes there can be misunderstandings, so let's also remember that. But anyway, basically, and the other one was cover of the Rolling Stone. And it's a fun song, but there's more than one person singing at some times. There is a little bit of guitar riff, I think, too. And I hope you guys won't mind that I just do this quickly. Because I'm going to do it anyway. Sorry, I had something stuck on my tooth. Anyway, as people sometimes do, right? Just proves the realness of it all, right? Anywho, so yeah, basically, but there are some lyrics in it that I'm not too sure about singing. But let's bring up that window that I just had open. If I can find it. Maybe not, because I can't find it. Hmm. Is it this one? That's right, because I opened a bunch of stuff. It says nobody. Okay, now it says there's someone here again. Yeah, so I really do love Castle on the Hill, but I've played it a few times recently. One of them was when I set a Guinness record, and if you'd like to check that out, there's also other great stuff within it, including that song. You're welcome to do that, and I can tell you how to. And I can tell you how. Oh, that is neat. Anything to do with them is a big thing. To do with who? The Rolling Stones? Oh, Rolling Stones. Yeah. I understand if you don't want to. If you don't want to say, pretty much. I don't. No, just kidding. No, I mean I like some of their music more than others. It's interesting that you stated that almost as if it was kind of a controversial thing to say that one likes. I'm not too sure if I follow that. I mean, yeah, they were into like. Sorry, I hope you don't mind, because I think you're the only one here. So that's all. Let's see, Devil Up Black, and then he'll be downstairs shortly, and he'll play piano. Yeah, but doggone good. Yeah, they were into you know drugs and alcohol quite a bit, but then G would say, and I kind of agree. He says it's a lot of people that are famous. I said a lot of people that aren't famous get into that too. I mean, it's just a way of coping with life, and when you're famous, as great as that is, there's also other things to cope with, right? Um, but if that's what you mean, or what, but no, I could see why they've been popular. I don't know how many of them are still alive, because I mean they were old years ago, and to be quite honest, even though they danced around the stage, or at least one or two of them did, at least Mick did, right? Even though they danced around the stage quite often, and had to have the energy to do their live performances and that, and they're not like, I don't mean to be rude when I say this, but they aren't obese. It's true. Not that sometimes that's genetics or whatever, but but I guess maybe because of the other things that I was just mentioning that they did. I wouldn't necessarily say that they were necessarily the most healthy individuals. Um, so yeah, but I'm curious why you said if I want to say. Again, I don't dislike them. And it's interesting to me to think that, I mean, they were big everywhere. I don't know why it's so interesting for me to think that they were big in Japan. Big in Japan, isn't that a group? Yeah, I think I only know one of their songs though. Maybe, no, are they the one that everybody won Chant tonight? Are they that one? Anyway, um, but I remember I once had a classmate uh, in college or university level, uh, and she had said she'd never even heard of them, and I think she was being serious. So, but while you're working on your next reply, and also to any of the three of you, including the one that's in the chat right now, don't be shy to or I mean, you're not shy, but like you don't have to worry about adjusting how you say what you say. Like if I'm confused by it, I'll ask for clarification specifically. That's the best way to get clarification instead of just saying I don't understand what you're saying. Or I think sometimes if somebody's reading something out loud and we have the ability to see them do that, we might be able to sense where they may have gotten confused. But yeah, don't be too judgmental or critical of yourself and how you're coming across. As long as you're trying to be good in the good part, decent in the conversation, and not trolling. And I know that, for instance, Elliot is not trying to do those things and not anything negative. Then that's fine. And I understand you are writing some longer comments, so I mean it's you know not all of us. I mean, you're doing great. You are great, and I'm really happy to have you here and be chatting with you. But I also remember not all of us are fast typers or can keep up as easily with both typing and listening. Unless I'm doing music, maybe it's a bit easier. But all I ask is that people do their best. I want to get to know the people that are watching, and I often do. and I always happy to do that. So yeah, like just because you might not be the fastest typer or you might be shy, uh, that's not saying don't do it. And I hate to get up because the dog's being good there, but I just have to do something quickly. I've been having a bit of a health condition. I'm not too sure what's it all about. Hopefully that helps. I hope I'm not the only one here. Well, there's two other people here. It's varied. You know that you weren't earlier, and that's the thing. High numbers is lovely. As much appreciation, and as much as I can kind of, you know, it's an okay. I just noticed. Oh well, he's gonna lay back there. Okay. I just noticed that a dog may have wanted to lay on that chair, but the pillow and everything else on it would have made it a bit tricky. Sometimes he can move it around, but he just laid back in front of me. Does it? Who other people have pets, by the way, that are watching? Anyway, so it sounds like with your comment, you're not necessarily saying that you feel awkward being. I mean, the algs do different things. The numbers aren't always accurate. Sometimes it's hiding comments. Um, Unfortunately, um, and what's the other thing? There's a lot on this platform, and I'm very thankful because it's accessible, and I really appreciate posting. And I'm trying to do good things in doing so. But anyway, basically, but that's very nice of you to say. That doesn't seem fair considering your talent, musically, and I guess for conversation and stuff, right? No, I mean I don't disagree, but sometimes it's more active in here than other times. So you're getting a lot of like, you know, I was gonna say specialized attention. You're getting, you're getting. I try to, and it's never. There have been times where it's been a little tricky, but it's never been that hard to keep up. Even when and the other two look like they've left. Hopefully that wasn't you that left. But I mean, I understand. Also, unfortunately, some people have a hard time kind of wiggling into the conversation when they see that two other people are hitting it off. But like, it shouldn't feel that way. So hopefully they don't. Um, I think Mick Jagger is still alive. Don't know how after everything he is. Right, 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 right. And I don't know about the others, and I don't even remember their names at the moment. How bad is that? Perhaps, right? But uh, I guess in some ways he's been very blessed, right? Heck, some people just have good genes. Like I knew somebody. It's one of my longest friends in the city. He passed away a few years ago. Speaking of that venue again, I know the dog just sat down, but I'm going to give him the option to lay here, so I'm going to move some of this stuff a little bit. But anyway, his mother lived to 104. She passed away, I think, last summer. Not Mick Jagger, my friend's mother. I don't know. I may have, I've known some famous people's cousins, but yeah, I've not known or people connected to, but not often. But I've not known any personally. I have done some movie extra work, but anyway, I don't know how much I want to get into that. It's nothing super recent. Ironic after seeing Barry's picture. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know how much they toured around Australia, but I can tell you this, Elliot. Back to my brother's band. He also played in the Big Day Out festivals, in the same lineup as Eminem, Lance Bassett. Who else? So I'm just doing something at the sink here. Eminem, yeah, Alanis Morissette, a couple other big names. Well, probably more than a couple, but those are the ones I remember. And yeah, so but I kind of want to play a song, an original song. I sort of do, for the most part. Let's make a keep from that. The dog's laying over there by the keyboard. I sort of want to go to the keyboard, but I'm pretty comfortable sitting over here, so I sort of feel like I want more coffee, but it's early. I'll have it with dinner. I'm tempted to want to go out, but... And he said it's not windy, and this is what I don't understand, because that tree sure is moving. I think he's just a bit more durable with the wind. The other person in the home. Well, this far in, there hasn't even been anyone else indicating as having been here, and then maybe then it dropped, and maybe that was accurate or not. So I feel comfortable to mention something else, or to at least be a bit well. Um, well, let's just say this: the other person in the home is not straight. Hopefully, you're okay with that. Um, and you may be wondering, and let's not, I never want to make that super obvious on here, but this far in you being in here, but uh, why do I mention that? Honestly, I don't remember. No, there wasn't. Oh, right, right, right. Wow, the sun's really coming out too, and life is short. And part of me wants to go out, and it would give me a bit of a rest between doing this, and to get my. I would love to hear you on the keyboard, mate. That's fine with me. No judgment here. Yeah, because neither am I, but I'm not fully one way or the other. Uh, I'm right in the middle of that spectrum. Um, okay, cool. Yeah. No, I didn't. I sense that you're a pretty cool individual, but unfortunately, sometimes nice individuals, especially when religion gets into things, they sometimes. I don't want to say that. Well, yeah, sometimes they're a little bit jerks, for lack of a different phrase, right? But uh, but you're cool. So I do get a sense that you're older than 18. I do get a sense. I don't really want to know otherwise, but I'm curious, or at least approximate, you know. Um, I'm not religious. Yeah, and I'm agnostic. So I can't say that I'm not religious, but I can't say that I'm strongly religious either. And that's what works for me. So uh, the sun keeps coming. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so um, okay, so I want to do a bit more music. You have already heard that I'm talented, but that doesn't mean you don't want to hear more. And that's always the thing. It's like, okay, now that it's like, but um, 26. Okay, and I'm just a tad older than that, just a tad. Uh, but uh, between you and me, again, these things I'm sharing right now because it's a comfortable moment. I'm not always open about it. But between you and me, I am out of my 20s, unfortunately, and I miss them. But anyway, so I hope you're enjoying yours. But no, I'm just, yeah, yeah. I mean, I have no plans for tomorrow other than maybe streaming. And since we missed Mark and Kelly today, both of our streams, I hope that anyway, weird comment. Um, I guess um, I'm tempted to uh, ask if you'd like to be a moderator on the channel. Normally, I keep up just fine, but when I'm trying to focus on doing the music covers, I already have ADHD, but could you tell? Just kidding. But I want to be able to focus. Uh, and otherwise, yeah, and also sometimes it's not showing certain comments. Sometimes it's holding them from review, and sometimes I can see why, and other times it's like, no, that's fine. But then other times I'm not seeing. So basically, if you think anything is most definitely a troll, you can put them come up for me to look at, or you can just reach out, which I realize might not be doing as much as I'd like it to do. Like it's not a block necessarily, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so um, yeah, if you'd be open to doing that, that would be lovely. I have a few, but some of them I haven't seen in a while, and some of them I do. But sometimes they, have distractions. Are you a night owl? Because it must be pretty late there, and you're like, no, but I'm having fun, and it's the weekend. I mean that you're also learn that sometimes my sense of humor, I've been kind of finding or realizing and paying more attention to is what could seem like I'm putting words in someone's mouth, but really I'm not. I'm just being silly. Oh wow, you're down already. Why are you being weird and barking, Sonny? Thank you for the heart. Hello? Hello? Just a moment. This is weird. I thought I heard movement on the stairs, but I don't hear G reacting unless he started to come down and then went up. Are you still at it up there? Yeah, he's got his music playing. Either that or hello, Hymeth. How are you? Either that or there's nobody at the door. Or do you guys believe in the afterlife? I don't know if we've talked about that, Hymeth, but for a question right out the gate. There's a couple things I wanted to say to you. Sometimes I think, I noticed you're on vacation, or where are you traveling? So that might be the answer to the other question. I noticed you were in Mark and Kelly's the other day, but not for very long. And then you came back, but not for very long. And I was just wondering, were you enjoying being there on their stream? Also, I noticed that you updated your website, or at least I thought I'd been to it before, and it looks real good, mate. Not a lot of moving, distracting stuff. A great picture. I almost didn't recognize a couple of you. I think I know which one yours is. Nothing is not nothing. It's a hero. But also, yeah, I'd still like to get a zip hoodie. I was thinking about getting one of your stickers. Hymeth is in a band, by the way. Where are you on vacation? And the Mark and Kelly question. I'm sorry, you're probably working on your answer. And so I'm guessing you're not with the other guys, or you are? By vacation, do you mean tour? We were just talking about a band that's done a lot of touring. Anyway, I will get to your comment just a moment here. I've always thought that was an interesting name for a place. It's got that funny symbol, but I'm pretty sure that's typed right. If you're saying Corpus Christi, then that's what I'm seeing. And that was really unfortunate. That's something else that happened to Mark and Kelly's. We accidentally seemed to have hitting each other's comments. She's like, why can't I see his comments? I'm like, I don't know. I can't see hers either, and we can't undo it. Luckily, I do also have an email, which is actually a good reminder. The other thing I wanted to ask you, and then I'll look at Elliot's comment again, meet each other. I forget where your first... Oh, Caden, right? Anywho, I wondered why your website, because I almost sent you an email, said first and last name required. Like G said, and it's funny that you call him friend, but that too. I don't know if it says anything else, but anyway, G said, well, there's lots of people with the same first name. It says, yeah, but they're asking for the full first and last name. And I've not seen that very often, and I didn't know why. And I really think you should get rid of that dog, because it ain't nothing. But other than that, yeah, zip hoodie, I'd get it. I wouldn't mind a discount. And I know it's good quality and this and that. I'm just not rich. Either that or folks donate, because I want to buy a band's merch. Zip hoodie, I wouldn't mind the t-shirt, to be honest, too. The sticker, I don't know what I'd put it on. If I was going out with my guitar more often and it was a hard case, or maybe on my guitar. I don't know what to think about putting stickers on guitars. Or what G would think of it. My laptop, maybe, but I want something that other people are going to notice it too, so I can, it's been a while since we've chatted. And by the way, I noticed that you were on the previous stream, and I think I was alluding to that, but we didn't see some of the comments. And G was playing piano and not really paying attention very closely. I came and looked a couple times, and I was cooking in the kitchen. I think you said yo. I think you said be right back, and then I think you were asking if I was available to chat. So thank you for doing so. I'm going to do some more music in a moment. It can't be super late there. What have you done today? If there's anything you'd like to talk about, or what are you still planning to do? I know I'm throwing a lot out there for conversation. So do your best, little by little. I'm going to focus on some songs in a moment, so you might be able to focus a bit better. But I'm just curious, and but yeah, I need some merch. I need it now. So, and your website looks really good. I've never been asked that. Well, we're getting along. I think we have some of the same values. Like, I don't mind if someone's flirting or a little bit silly. Even if YT did like to comment, it's when somebody's being like really disturbing or odd or rude, then like we don't need them here, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Or judgy, you know. Um, you're online a lot. Yeah, that makes two of us. Between you and me, I have my own stuff. Well, we're all living life, and sometimes we're busier than other times. Now I'm focusing on Elliot's comment, so hopefully you can focus on my questions. Uh, we have stuff always going on. Um, you are so lovely and nice to me that I do not want to, be otherwise to you. Um, Thank you for the fifth like. The disorder that you mentioned, the mental health condition that you mentioned, is one that I don't struggle with it personally. I don't think I do. I've always thought it must be the hardest thing to diagnose. People are, you know, humans have various emotions that they can feel, and how to redifferentiate, whether someone is just feeling those various emotions or has something like that. I mean, really. And so, we can all be sensitive too. But I think the most important thing to remember when we're communicating or with anybody else is that reminder of, you know, we may misunderstand what somebody means sometimes. We may think that we don't, but sometimes, if especially if we think that we've understood something and it makes us uncomfortable or whatever, I think that it's good to say, you don't. Can you clarify what you meant by this? Or if you feel like saying it this way, although I think that it's a bit more assumptive, you can say, when you said this, it sounded like this. Is that what you meant? You know, um, because whether you have that mental health condition or not, that's simply good communication, and it goes a long way, right? So, what I hate is people being horrible to genuinely nice people like you, and I'm usually up late. Okay, yeah, so you're not rushing off to bed then. Whether I'm rushing off to anything, no, I'm actually Scottish. No, but I am. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, I'm Scottish, English, Norwegian, and yeah. And if that's not a sign to go to the place, because there's a restaurant kind of near there that is one of those, and it's kind of unique to have that here. But I saw a bad review. I also saw something else weird when I was around there the other day. But I kind of want some Sri Lankan food. I kind of do. And life is short, and let's go do it now. Just kidding. Well, we'll see. You know. Um, but anyway, so I'm kind of waiting for G to get down. I kind of like to do some music. I'm wondering. This is true though. I am wondering something. Uh, I was like, that's not me. Uh, Pause. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed and hit the bell yet, please do. Hi, Myth, are you there? I think it's entirely possible, but hopefully not. He said that's a lot of questions to cover, and I just wanted to pop in for a few minutes. Maybe listen for a little while before my next thing. And I understand that, but I hope those questions get answered later, because I will keep asking until they do. No, but sometimes I kind of am surprised how quickly I think of things to ask. But I mean, I've been holding on to two or three of those things since Friday. So, well, I looked at the website today. But anyway, what was I looking at? Oh, right. I just want to see when this place is open till. Really? I would not have guessed that late. I would not have. The weather, it keeps looking like it's going to rain. I don't know if it's supposed to. But yeah. So I'm not bipolar, but I am bisexual. If you didn't realize that that's what I was specifically saying. This way, because I said that this way, if I say, well, I would always say I'm not quite. And thankfully, G remembered the other day that that's a spectrum. Because sometimes he seems to forget. What am I looking up? Just kidding. Weather. Oh, right. So you said that. I think you meant you have your own struggles, but that doesn't mean that you're unable to. And I think you're saying, yeah, of course I can do that, mate. I think that's the mod question. So, and it also keeps. Sometimes people won't even. I mean, yeah, there's two. I don't want people to think, oh, I need mods because so many mods that may pop in more than one at a time because like I need it. But you know what it also says to me? It says that I value the good connections that I make here, and I have trust in you. So there you have it. And if you're ever unsure, just ask. Uh, Although spring is looking like it's definitely closer to being here, I'm just gonna put this back here for a moment. Definitely, and that it's still, and I mean, sometimes they say it actually has to be warm for it to snow, even if it's not like snowing most of the day or whatever. Not too sure I get that. To me, that sounds like the opposite of what it should be, but I'm no meteorologist, you know. But it is actually saying, I'm gonna have to put on a light in here. It's getting dark. And I did actually see something in the sky earlier. I want more coffee. And to fall on the table almostly. Oh, almostly? Almost, and I don't know what other word I was trying to say, but anyway. But yeah. No, just my throat and the warm beverage is nice, right? He will be down here soon to get on the piano. Basically, I just looked at the weather. I didn't even have to bring up the hourly forecast. It said that there's a 30% chance of flurries this evening. So that's not, quite 50, but it's not necessarily low either, I wouldn't say. And if there's a chance of flurries, then I don't really want to bike anywhere. And certainly don't want to dine outside anywhere. So we'll just hope. And G doesn't understand why I get worried sometimes, although I thought he would because he knows what I've been through in my life, and that I've had a lot of loved ones pass away, and I hear about a lot of the tragedies in that way or whatever that people go through, and I don't know why he would. I think sometimes he understands, but I really don't know why he wouldn't fully understand why I would worry about that. But you know what? We had a nice lunch from home. Some of the stuff was actually stuff I bought at a bakery in that place. Thank you. I appreciate it. You appreciate what? But I'm glad that you appreciate it, and thank you for the hearts. Anyway, yeah, I had a Danish with bechamel. I don't usually get this fancy. Bechamel, balsamic, parsley. I think there was some beets in there. What else? I'm getting flamboyant to think about it. But what else did I have? But I don't think I'm usually all that obvious. Oh, we had a little bit of hot dog too. Treated it like sausage because we have a whole bunch of them right now, and even though I prefer them from the barbecue, and the bun and the fixins, of course I'm going to talk about that. Of course, because I'm just kidding. Anywho, point of the matter being is that, and then I did something really weird. I never do that kind of thing, but because initially I thought gravy, not that it was boring otherwise, although it was made in a pastry, right? So it was a little bit flaky, I guess. I don't like flakiness. No, but and I hope we always find ways to, stay connected, whether it's just on here or otherwise. Um, I would love to put a face to your name, whether you update your profile picture or we connect also like by email or something. But yeah, anyway, so and the thing that the Danish was a couple days old, uh, and for whatever reason I thought make some gravy to go with it, so I made some gravy to go with it, and she had an egg sandwich bagel with cheese and maybe just cheese and egg. Anyway, but yeah, and it was quite lovely, and we had a couple of times where our conversation was a little bit stressful, but other than that, I can't remember exactly. We didn't. He showed me a couple of songs he was working on. Yeah, I'm wondering whether I should. I think I need to do a new song about my brother. Not that I'm much of a songwriter, but I think I need. Well, actually, I did. There's a couple of them, original songs. One of them that I wrote on the spot. If you browse the live streams within the past 2 or 3 weeks, I do post at least once, sometimes twice, and occasionally 3 times a day. And I'm able to do that with my schedule right now for the most part. But as long as I kept them, posted, you'd be able to see them. Uh, I have a song about when my brother moved to Australia, and he's a half sibling, and so he lived in various places with his mother, who worked in the airlines, and my dad being on the phone with him and pretty much telling him, why do you have to move so far away? You're already far away from me. And now I deal with the exact same thing he did geographically. And I don't know how much and otherwise in contact they were, but, you know, we mostly get along. We do have some contact, mostly around the holidays. And it's just, it annoys me. And, I can only do the best I can do. I know he don't hate me, but, I'm also NB, and I recently shared something with him. Also, yeah, make me mad. That means a lot. Have some music groups from Australia that I'd love you to listen to sometime. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't mind hearing some new groups. Are these people that you know personally? Or I would love to do an excess, but they have that SUI song, Blonde, and they also have some unique sounds that are hard to necessarily replicate in their songs. And it's again another one of those examples where I think that I would need to. Um, Whoops, what happened there? Sorry about that. And I don't know why this looks so dim, especially since I've recently been on it and it's plugged in. Anyway, gusting to 40, becoming light. Okay, yeah, I don't know. If there is a 30% chance of flurries early this evening, then again, I don't want to go anywhere. It's supposed to be pretty nice tomorrow. We can sleep in, but I'd also like to get there before it gets super late. But it is a weekend, so lots of other people might be doing that too. And I don't know why she said that side of the thing is less busy. It's all busy at times. Anyway, sorry. Uh, yeah, what groups are you talking about? I don't know a lot of them, but I might know some. And my brother, that I keep mentioning, is now, or has been for many years, about as long as he'd been in the band, actually. So, like, or both as long. It's interesting, actually, to think about it. So he was in the band for about 10 to 12 years. He started when he was like 14 or 16. Has not been in the band for about that, and he's been a music producer for I think about that long, and that's his life in a nutshell. But um, he has been thinking about not doing music production anymore. I'm not too sure why. I'd been out. I mean, I look at him from what I know, which isn't a full picture. I understand. I look at him and I think he is very successful, and it's not that he isn't, you know, but and he's always got work, and he's never struggling to make end meets, and perhaps that's unfair of me to do so, because apparently. and whether he's exaggerating or not, I don't know, but apparently there is gaps between jobs. And I think what he's really wanting is something that's a bit more stable, a bit more of a, I'm sure each job pays well, word of mouth helps, this and that. But also, he recently got married, and his wife travels a lot for work. Um, uh, I'm honestly not too sure how much they're actually around each other. But anyway, I've made all kinds of progress in my mixed feelings about him, but and I do love him, but unfortunately, we just yeah. Anyway, but I would remember some of the bands that he's worked with. I don't know if he's worked with them, but I want to say he has. Cat Empire, I think it's called. The Mess Hall. Um, I could go a couple like indie artists, mostly indie. Um, yeah. Uh, anyway, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, if it's just the thing is if it's just like a few flurries for like 15 minutes or whatever, and then it clears up and it's like this, I don't know. I guess we'll see if I go out for dinner or not tonight. But yeah, back on that topic though, like life is so fragile. It is. And me and G have enjoyed our life together this past 8 or 9 years. And as I said to my friend Kat, I mean, obviously we have a very strong foundation and a lot of empathy and love, uh, so that when we go through hard times, we get past them, even when it looks like we might not. By the way, uh, coolest plant ever. Talking about plants earlier, I think you were here then. Well, I don't know if it's. I like amaryllis is quite a neat plant. We have one here. It doesn't have a lot of flowers, and some of these plants are 20, 30 years old. But there's one that's like it's got a star inside of a star shape, and it's on a Hoya plant. Have you ever seen those? Anyway, sorry, I'm saying a lot of stuff. And I will be listening to your brother's old group tonight. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh, that's very cool of you to say that. Like I say, yeah, he's not in them anymore. But yeah, I did have a viewer that said that they had an uncle that played with them. But yeah, anyway, I didn't know the name. Um, but we love them, but that doesn't always make it easy. Yeah, well, we love them because we feel we're supposed to, and but we're supposed to love everybody, And but yeah, yeah, so that's very cool. Yeah, he never knew how to define their genre, but if I was to do so, I would say, why is my screen? Did I change the brightness? Looks like it. Yep. I would say that it's electronica, indie, techno, funk, a lot of things, fancy things with keyboard sound effects and synthesizers um, uh, Enter Space Capsule, uh, Apple Girls are a couple of the good ones. In the City is another nice one. The band that really got me when I was living there was the Smith Street Band. Never heard of them, but I lived on a street when our dad passed, and I was kind of close. I know it's a common name, and I live next to one now, um, close with the Smith. But all my time online, I'm not as much on Facebook these days, but all my time online and this and that, I don't see Smith very often. Do you believe in the afterlife? And can you tell me what? Okay, crack an egg on your head. No, like it's that would be a stupid thing to do. It wastes eggs, and it's a silly reason to decide whether you want to like or sub something or not. So, troll. That's what I like football. Good thing there's not too many people here going to ask me about that because we're not going to happen. But yeah, Elliot, I like it for reasons you might guess, and that's about all. Well, almost. Anyway, but um, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's call this one. Right. Okay. But yeah, so those are three of my favorite songs of theirs. Will Wagner, my favorite was Leica. Never heard of him. Oh, the lead singer was okay. Your favorite song of theirs, okay. Must be about a girl they fancied or something, maybe with a name like that. A girl they liked. Anyway, I also wanted to ask you about something else so you're getting to know me, quite well, and I'm getting to know you for that matter. I wanted to ask you, at least it's the weekend, and we eat at 9 or 10 o'clock. We eat at 9 or 10 o'clock. You know, do you believe in the afterlife? And I mean, somebody can be religious and have those beliefs. You did say you're not religious, so I'm thinking there might be a bit more likelihood, though. Um, Not that it's a religious thing, necessarily. I mean, not that it's not either, though. I just need to grab something from. Oh no, I have some here. Just gonna put some muscle cream on. I haven't noticed it a lot lately, although I guess I'd put some on now. But I have costumitis, I believe it's called. But I also have a bit of hairy chest. It's kind of hard to rub things in there. I hope G will be down here soon. You'll get to hear some classical piano. Yeah, I appreciate that you're curious. I think it would make more sense if you were still in it, perhaps. Um, uh, but and I guess if I was to make one request, though, if like I'm thinking you're thinking of checking them out on YouTube, and um, one of the members, maybe more than one, but one for sure. I mean, that's what it takes. At least one. I believe has kept things going. The truth be told, I'm not too sure if he's still in contact with my brother. I mean, there was what, three or four of them? I think there was three. Uh, and it's obviously not the one that kept things going. Although, if you do comment any of their stuff, if you could ask, because I haven't gotten around to it after all this time, if you could ask them if they've ever performed or had in their band somebody named LeBron. That's not my brother, but that's the got it. That's the see. That's why. Well, yeah. Um, well, but then if it doesn't show how many times that they put it, um, anyway. So yeah, that I'd be curious. Although actually, I'd see. Between you and me, I had messaged the one member because I found him, and I says, "Have you talked to him lately?" And I also said, I brought up this thing about this LeBron guy. I don't know if, and I think it was about 6 at night when I sent it, and he saw the message but didn't say anything. So I don't know if he talks to my brother still or not. I don't know if he, felt awkward. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know if it was just that he was busy and distracted, uh, or choosing not to respond. He didn't block me. I don't believe he blocked me. So I don't know. Um, and if somebody, and this was just a few weeks ago, if somebody else asked him about this LeBron guy, well, again, don't say that you were talking to the sibling of one of his former bandmates. Then it's not awkward. I mean, it would be nice if it wasn't anyway. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know if it's just that they were close, and then, as I mentioned, my brother isn't necessarily the no, and it's actually rainscotting. It's kind of works as a shelf, but it's actually, uh, yeah, yeah. No, there's no risk of that. There's actually little grooves in it, so it's groovy. But that's a very interesting random, and also very interesting. Your first name, And also the number after that spammer just came in with it a bunch of time. But we were just talking about somebody who's got the move like Jagger. We were talking about the Rolling Stones. Um, Mick is not a name I hear super often. Yeah, and that's very interesting. Nobody's ever asked that. And you said the picture. You do realize there's more than one, right? I don't mean to be particular, but to me that seems a little bit like spam or trolling. Could be wrong. Anywho, so yeah, so you understand about the. I missed a comment here. I almost forgot to look at it. You understand about the difficulties with family. Do you have a close family yourself, or like are you, or is it? I think all. I don't know. I would say all families have some meh within them, but but some maybe don't or don't have as much of it. Personally, I don't. There was a time when I was very much wanted to, though, because you lost a loved one or what. It's just not what makes sense to me. Well, that's something that I will tell you. Okay. Um, I'm sorry, I've just said a whole bunch of stuff, so let me just slow down for a moment here. Hopefully, I'm having a good time. I think that it brings a sense of comfort, although it can be hard to. Yeah, I think it brings a sense of comfort to feel that we can see our loved ones again someday, and that that there's something more. I do understand, but I don't want to say too much. Um, I respect. Can I ask you what messages you would like me? Well, like I say, when I'm not playing music, I'll take care of it myself. Unless I am not seeming like I've noticed, like you can tell, even if I don't read them out loud, hopefully you can tell if I've seemed like I've noticed a comment come in. Sometimes I do want to try and be less obvious about it. But I did mention earlier, I did mention anything that's like really rude or rude at all, I mentioned, like I said, compliments are okay. A little bit of eccentricity or whatever, but eccentricness or whatever. But anything like, and also, I appreciate and I understand that everybody is different, and sometimes it's autism or sometimes it's whatever else. But I appreciate good communicators and intellects. We're all, smart in different ways, but somebody that jumps in, I mean, it's sometimes I'll notice that they are on topic with what they jump in with. That is true. But sometimes some people will jump in with this random thing, and it's not even without even that I've noticed, without even a hi, how are you, or anything like that. And that's the kind of thing that I find, yeah. But any comments that seem like spam. But you can also just put, and actually I think that's what a standard mod is to be able to do. Is you can put someone on a timeout and then I can look at it. But again, if I'm not obviously noticing it, it might not be showing to me because of UYT doing it or my device. And if there is that energy here, we don't need it here, and it can, you can deal with it, to your best discretion. Um, um, and you'll get to know me a bit more. Like I don't mind people up for a little bit, or like I had a really weird comment the other day or earlier today. Actually, I really don't know how to. I didn't know how to respond to it. Basically, he said he came over. He asked, and I don't know how this is even possible. And I do things that, and I really should close him. Anyway, he came from the hub, was doing a certain activity, ended up on my stream, and added something else into that. And part of me thought, ooh la la, and part of me thought, one, how are the two getting mixed? And clearly he was just wanting to get a reaction and this and that. So that one, like, it's kind of like part of me didn't mind that comment, and part of me, again, that was his first comment. He jumped right in with it. But anyway, as far as I do want to share this because you've learned a lot about me. I'm Canadian. I'm musical. I'm GLBT. There's one other thing other than mental health stuff. I mean, I suffer with depression sometimes, anxiety, OCD used to be worse, autism spectrum, these kind of things. Um, but, and some of those things may be why and just the life I've had. No need to feel jealous. I can help you out. I can try and teach you how. I appreciate the YT community as I work on the next chapters of my life, but I always will appreciate the YT community. It said 3, now there's 2. Anyway, point of the matter being, the reason why I asked about it, aside from that, I was alluding a little bit, is because, well, basically, hello from Germany, Baju, cool channel name. Who is the one observing your thoughts? Me and the viewers? What kind of question is that? I mean, that's a although Shawshank, I've heard of that. That is one of those ones where it's kind of like it doesn't necessarily seem like a troll. Somewhat seems random, somewhat doesn't. Hello from Germany. Hello from Canada. I just want to check something really quickly here. Is this the one that I'm doing now? Because it looks like I don't think it is. Or is it? I don't know. This one's almost an hour and 40. We got 4 here. Are you a mental health channel or what's going on here? Fair enough question. At times I am. At times I realize that people need to focus on that, and I was just talking about some of that stuff. And people need support, and it's sometimes hard to find, or you don't want to worry loved ones and this and that. So, so we've got Elsie, we've got Reservoir. I'm not sure the third one is, but yeah, I'm only here spreading goodness, trying to be supportive to the people that need it, and do music as well. We are musicians, so it's conversation and stuff. Yeah. Are you needing mental health support? I really am quite a diverse individual in all good ways. I'm just wondering. That sounds really nice. It is really nice. I appreciate you appreciating that. Don't forget to like. I'm looking at. Is this the one? I thought I had this open on one of my many things that I have open, and I just noticed that. Oh, I'm getting them confused. I'm just going to open a new tab. I just noticed that you have, not that it's a huge thing, but I'm a very visual person. I just noticed that it looks like you have I needed some a few days ago, but I think I'm all right now. I think I'm right now. I'm all right. Haha. Well, where were you for? No, but I'm, a few days ago. No, I'm glad you're here now. Again, if you haven't liked yet, please do. I'm glad that things sound like they're going a bit better for you. It's one of those things, right? As we live life, we're going to need support sometimes. So never hesitate or feel embarrassed or ashamed to ask. Safe space. I'm helping in the way that's most accessible to me right now. So, you have me curious. I would like to play my part in helping you out. But at the same time, I don't want to force it. If you feel like you're fine, then you're fine. Elliot, do you post stuff as well, out of curiosity? And Baju, do you? I was going to try and zoom in on your picture to just take a closer look at it. It looks like there's a few people in it. Are you into theater, or what is that? It looks like people in costume. Whether you post or not, I'm going to go to your channel just to take a closer look at your picture. Is that a money bag? Yeah, I think there are so many people that need to hear this. Don't be afraid to ask for help, guys. Within reason. I mean, if you're trying to, and some people don't. I think what you're saying, I don't want that to be misinterpreted. I'm not sure if I fully understand. I think so what is that from, your picture? Looks a little bit like Harry Potter, but somebody else dressed like him. And then, if I should recognize the other two individuals, I don't. Baju, I'm talking to you. Never online, but yeah, I've done covers in the past. Okay, so you mean you do have stuff on your channel then? Is that what you're saying? Sounds like that's what you're saying. I'm going to check it out. We'll get back into the music when G's here, because then the device will be over there. I'll be following the chat, but I'll also be... Yeah, so So, what kind of? Here's a question, Baju, and to either of you. What kind of things do you feel like you struggle with most? Well, it must not be on that channel because I don't see any covers. I just found it on Discord. The hate group about it. And sometimes I read, I remove things not because I've taken, I have a problem with the person or anything they've said, but because, it could be, by people that are more uptight or just they could be misconstrued or plant certain seeds. I don't have a Discord. I don't use that. It's just another thing to learn, but I've thought about it. So I was right. Aunt, where is he? He should be right by now in India. Shouldn't he? Isn't it like 5 or 6? Part of Eminem. I was just telling Elliot that my brother has played in the Big Day Out Festival in Australia in the same concert lineup as Eminem and a couple of other people. 50 cents. I'd like a bit more than that, please. Holding, I don't know what his biz, but cool. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I accidentally hit the wrong thing. Fortunately, not on my channel. It just covers the songs I've done in private. But why would you do them where people can't enjoy them? I would certainly like to. That's for sure. Also, you don't look like you have enough subscribers to go live yet. Okay, so is it somebody else's channel that I should search to find it then? I'm sure you're talented, bud. Unfortunately, okay. I just had some problems with my family, some financial struggles, but I sorted it all out with the help of your family. Ironically, yeah, we were just talking a little bit about family struggles, not in great depth, but a little bit, alluding to it for sure. I'm glad that you have good friends. Those are two big topics for sure. I wouldn't have been able to help you a whole lot with the financial stuff anyway. I'm low income myself. I mean, I would say be careful with your spending, but it's important to have treats every now and then. One thing I would say is to watch for places that have pay it forward, uh, pay it forward. They usually have something on the wall. No, your grammar's fine. Uh, you know, if there's a place here that says, you can take a receipt off the wall, somebody has prepaid for your meal. No shame in that, even not being homeless. Yeah, it varies, it mixes, it's mixed, but you get better with it over time for sure. It wasn't that deep. What deep? Okay, but a little frustrating. Okay. Have you liked yet? I don't think you have yet. I think it was already 5 before you got here. And feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm getting a little congested. I hope G gets down here soon. Sorry, I mean to be gross. Thank you for the hearts. Oh, you don't seem that shy. Oh, thank you for the like. But yes, one thing I will say. I mean, I'm still getting to know the one of you, but you seem great. Uh, but yeah. Hopefully we can get this up to a 7th like, but I think the 2 that are here right now, although it just became 2, now it's 3. Anyway, hopefully we can get to the 7th like. It's not all about, how many likes, how many views. I mean, that's a part of it, but it's also how good is the conversation and that as well. And in the moment, just enjoying it in the process is could be quite lovely too. Oh, well, but if it's G, then the person will recognize. Anyway, sorry. Sometimes I'm just thinking things through, and I guess my mind very quickly realizes that I don't necessarily need to express them. Oh, so Bujaboo, what? Not necessarily that, but what are your opinions about the afterlife? And also, one of the other things we talked a little bit about was the LGBT community. I'm curious if you're okay with that. And about things as far as doing music and posting it. Is that what you mean? Good question. had this a few days ago. I've already forgot what I've asked. I remember the one question. I don't know if I asked about the afterlife, but there is a reason that I mention it. There is a reason that I mentioned it specifically, other than talking about the fragility of life. Um, a genuine question, mate. How find confidence and overcome it? I think you're asking me that. Yeah, that's why you called it a question. Um, I've never really thought that much into it. It's one of those things that the 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 feelings. Now we got a lot of sun coming in the room. I'm just going to turn off this light because it's too bright. Put my coffee in the kitchen and think about how to answer that good question. G will be down here soon, I promise. I know I keep saying that, but he's obviously enjoying the sunshine, but knowing that it's windy out, potentially could start snowing, and I'm sort of surprised he's not in the yard. I still find it very dusty. We need more rain, but okay, I've not thought at all how to answer that question in all that time. But I do want to say this. For one-on-one, and I feel we're almost 2 hours in. I feel comfortable enough with you, Bajou, I think. And I asked a couple of questions, and you said good question. Oh, okay. And as far as the UBT thing, that I'm going to share something with you, Elliot, and I guess Bajou as well. I'm not usually open with this, but and again, I think that we just got to always be working with our wellness and working to, maintain it and be well and do the things that help it, so that we don't relapse and we don't have struggles like that. But as far as, so COLTYNROCKS, Y is in yes, S is in sweet, at gmail.com. I would love to see, I would love to put a face to the name. I mean, not necessarily. Okay, sorry, it's a little thing there, but 150, and like I said, not necessary, but it would be nice, and yeah, I trust you with that, so I hope you honor that. Genuine question. So sorry. In a moment, because I'm falling behind, and 2 new people have just tuned in, and I'm not too sure if I'm familiar with them. How to find confidence and overcome it. Overcome not being confident is, I think, what you're saying. Having a passion on a topic, doing it for a while. Live streaming has largely helped with that for the most part, I would say as well. That statement and the confidence piece. I almost feel like that question's a little easier to answer depending on what you're referring to. Like, there's a part of me that feels like you're referring to music because of what we were talking about. But again, I think that's the best answer I would give for that. And to just keep doing it, whether it's in person at open mics, or if that's not accessible at the time for you or whatever, online. Like it sounded like you have done music with somebody else on somebody else's channel. Is that right? Anywho, other than that, I don't know. If I was performing out more, then I might have more answers related to that. I'm not really sure exactly how else to answer that question. If it's in other areas, feel free to specify what areas, and I can try and suggest it there. Oh, wow. I appreciate that. It only took, like, you've been here almost the whole time, and we're having a great chat and this and that. And I guess maybe I haven't made it super obvious about struggling with the money, but how do I heart that? Not on that screen, I don't. I've never hearted a thing like that, but it looks like I can. There we go. Yeah, I appreciate that so much. Took a while for you to do it, but no, I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate the donation. We are, I don't know what the conversion is. I think I looked it up recently. Don't get donations a lot, but honestly, I think that some people can't, or they're not thinking to. It looks like it just told me the conversion. It looks like, I'm bad at math, but it looks like the UK dollar is a little bit less than the Canadian dollar, and it's almost $14. And although we don't have a PayPal or anything on here anymore because I was hearing things about that, and there was some, yeah, you know. Anyway, I believe it sounds like just simply having an account means that we should be able to receive that. If not, it'll go back to you. Uh, uh, and yeah, it's not a lot, but every little bit helps. It's made the sunshine brighter again. It's warmed my heart, so I appreciate that. And it's an option that people can do. So thank you for choosing to do so. Like I say, it's been a little while, and it's not that again, some people would if they felt they could, or they forget that it's an option. We are close to a payout, I believe. I don't know how much YT gets, but every $100 I think we get a payment, and we are honestly $15 away from it. So that brought us close, but not quite there. You don't have to give more. You don't. I'm not too sure if Bajou is still here. Can you let me know if you are, please? It did activate the fan funding, though, so that's cool. But yeah, depending on you are here. Specifically what you meant, that would, yeah, I believe so. I think that's why it tells us that way, yeah. So like $2 or $3 off. But Bajou might want to donate that $2 or $3. I'm not saying he has to, but or they have to, but I don't know. But anyway, my opinion about the afterlife. Just don't think we will see a concept like hell heaven, but maybe sort of a place where your soul can rest. Interesting. It's so interesting how similar but yet unique a brain and an opinion can be, right? And so I'm going to share mine. And I think it's somewhere between both of yours. Okay? And also, I feel like this is a safe moment, even though I think it was at 3 a moment ago, and it could be inaccurate. But sometimes, I'm not always going to feel like live streaming, or I'd like to have the option, or like with a friend recently, sometimes you misclick something, and then you can't manage to undo it, and then you kind of, it's nice to have another way. Although, if you have a mutual connection, you can maybe say, can you ask them if they would provide, okay sharing it? I mean, some people, yeah. Anyway, so COLTYNROCKS, because I'm musical, S is in sweet, Y is in yes or you, at gmail.com. So, I need a sip of water. Let's remember hydration. Nice cold water. Not too cold that my teeth and my gums don't like it, because I still need more dental work, but that's covered, thankfully. Anyway, the long-awaited answer to the question, my question that I asked, is, and before I forget, you were asked about the afterlife of the GLBT community a few days ago. What a coincidence. I don't think much about this. I think that you're referring to the GLBT community. I'm not too sure what to do with that answer. But I channel white light energy, as in angels. So, okay. What about the other one? The other question? As in angels. So, and sometimes it's very deep and kind of emotional, but usually quite healing and lovely. Mostly for my own, sometimes for others. And I appreciate, I did it, and you changed the order and added the Q. I personally think that the Q is actually the B that hasn't really figured out their preferences yet. Personally, not meaning to invalidate anybody, but I do appreciate you also using the full acronym, because it's inclusive. Some people may say, oh, it's so many letters. And I agree, there might be a few too many. But it's best to try and be inclusive. That's what I feel. Anyway, so basically I have had experiences with my loved ones, signs, symbols, messages even. and others. I had a very interesting one the other day, and it was an example of, like I say, we were in our friends chat where we'd initially met. One of us accidentally hit something. Usually it's easy to undo. We couldn't. Luckily, we email each other. Now, she did say everything was fine, no worries. When I said, did something happen? Because I wasn't seeing her comments. But, and it does mean that she might not be able to see any of the other videos because, she can't undo it. But I hope I hear from her soon. And there was a very interesting, I don't remember if I kept it posted or not, but there was a very interesting, and it sounds like also, you haven't answered if you're on somebody else's channel as well, but Elliot, it sounds like you also do post. You just don't keep the post public. So yeah, I hope you find the confidence to do that. Again, I would love to, whether it's an email or otherwise, I mean, I'm sure that you've got a great talent. You are worth knowing, not just in person, but online. And even though you come into people's chats and that's lovely, I think you should consider posting. Again, if it's going to be, harmonica, it's not a favorite instrument, but, still. Anyway, so, we will see, okay, like everyone else, but maybe a sort of, I think you don't think that we will see, but again, with my ability, I've learned otherwise. And we can all have that ability. And sometimes it's like, and it's not, I don't know, it's not all the time, but, or at least in my, anyway, you don't think we will see a concert like everyone else. Again, I believe my angels are there. I look forward to seeing them. And having my NDEs and this and that has brought me to those beliefs. As far as the other place, I do think the bad people should go there. So, I mean, it's nice to know that they have a place and hopefully they get there soon so that they're not, making it hard for those who are trying to live a good life. But where your soul can rest. And that's, understandable, and that would be a first thought when someone passes away. And I'm not saying that they're like they're not happy and well, but our loved ones, I don't believe, do rest. They've carried on living in a different way, in a way that feels lighter and less. Sorry, I had something on my tooth. Less calm or community. Yeah, I don't know how else to put it, but you know what I mean? So I don't entirely disagree with you, but I somewhat do. I think about the topic a lot because I have a lot of loved ones there, and like I say, the things I've been through, and that's why I feel that we got to live each day to the fullest. And I mean, not every day is going to be big and fancy and, have all the things. Oh, I missed a comment here, and I don't know how the heck I did. And it's way up there, but, oh no, maybe it's not up there. Just a moment here. I'm 10 minutes into the stream. Oh, you were timing it? I thought it was longer ago than that. And I can already feel that this is a good, safe space. Awesome. You are respectful. Correct. And seem like a nice guy. Also correct. I feel comfortable, and there's just two of you here to say, again, these are not things that I say in every stream or to everybody, but I am in the community, okay? And we'll leave it at the three of you here. There's lots of different communities one can be in, so to the third person that just tuned in. I don't have a lot, but man, you serve it. You serve it. I think you are saying deserve it, but honestly, both kind of works. Yes, 15, but now that there's been 1354 to be precise, 2 something away. I know, that almost sounds like, I hope it doesn't sound unbelievable. I looked at this actually recently. I don't look often, but I happened to look at the section that tells us this, and yeah. Okay, there's 2 of you here. Unless somebody's phone died, I'm going to assume I can Anyway, I totally am fine with, and a couple of you know my name now. You don't have to use it. You can hop right into conversation. You can say hi, leading healing. Hit the bell. You know when I'm live most days. Uh, but I am totally fine with bro, dude, mate, bruh, all that fun stuff. Um, I and I'll continue with that in a moment. Um, uh, but call me those things, please. Again, can't guarantee that there was an action, but I think if it just indicates they came and then it indicates they left, that might be in fact accurate because some people do judge that quickly or have that short an attention span. It's true. Anyway, I don't know. Based on one of the other things we're talking about, you may understand, and based on the thing I just previously said, what NB means. Anyway, I am somewhat that, but not really actively, and I'm not real sensitive about it. And again, I'm not trying to judge those that are. I thought that we were further than this. Anyway, but 2 hours. But like I don't think of myself as a they, for instance. Anyway, I will support you the next weekend. So I'm watching the comments. I don't know why though. I could just do it here. When I get my loan. I noticed that comment a little while ago for sure, buddy. Yeah, I appreciate that. A loan. I mean, you're having financial struggles. I don't want you to feel forced. Do it when you can do it. That's fine with me. Not because you'd like to, and every little bit helps. That includes me, but it also includes you. And if that little bit you need it to, but I mean, if we're just talking the $2, I would hope that you feel stable enough to get me to that threshold. But other than that, don't feel like you need to give more. Like if you need that for yourself, I don't know if you have family that you support or that you live with, then please think about that too. I think for myself that is important to think about these topics. I just think for myself that that's interesting wording. And I don't know if it's a language thing. Your English seems pretty good, and people have their different ways of wording things, but I analyze sometimes. I hope it'll never seem annoying. I'm also do life coaching and psychology and that. Um, and I look at that and I think that for me, specifically for me, as in for you, it's important to think about these topics every once in a while. And I'm curious about your phrasing of that. Thank you, mate. I do have a bit of stuff I've worked on with the keyboard too, but it's not good. You think it's not. Other people might disagree. So yeah, go out of your comfort zone a little bit. That's what I reckon. That's what I say. And here in Germany, we have a large. Well, I like how you say com dot, and I keep saying this .com. Well, yeah, everywhere. I mean, some places, people have to be a bit more careful. You know, being open about it. It's less safe, but but this far in with two great people who I could just tell, you know, uh, I don't know. I just felt like it was safe to tell you, and I'm glad it was. Especially in big cities, and nobody judges the community. And that's interesting because I know that the German people like to get drunk and they can be a little wild, but maybe that's why maybe they're in the community. No, but the people here in Germany are tired. I don't know how to say it, and I know that yeah, I don't know. People maybe get have a bad what's the word of German culture, but Oktoberfest. I think that originated in Germany. This doesn't trigger me that much. Dave did it all the time, but the thumb thing. No, but the people in Germany are tired when they get a little radical about the topic. I think I know what you're saying, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, like they are sometimes exaggerating. Are they? What makes you think they are? What are they exaggerating? I just can speak for my country, but I think it's the same in Canada and the US. Maybe. And I have to say, they are the nicest people for sure. Proof in the pudding. Sorry. Uh, I'm going outside for a cigarette and turn the volume on a little bit down. Maybe I don't. Right. I'm going outside for a cigarette. That sounds nice. And to turn the volume a little bit down. Why are neighbors out there? Maybe I don't will catch anything you say. Oh, so you might not catch up some things. I mean, they want to force people to. And again, I'm just gonna some of these comments. I mean, a lot of them are obvious, but just in case some people are just tuning in and they're seeing that, especially the older folks get annoyed. How old are you? Out of curiosity, you definitely. I mean, if you're under 18, you don't have to tell me. You know, I'm enjoying our conversation. I don't want things to be awkward. But oh well, that's very ironic. I think that's, if I recall, that's exactly how old Elliot is, and I'm just a tad older. And we also have two people watching. It's you two and 6 likes. And I may have been around 26 when I met my friend who passed away at 32 of diabetes. So, um, beautiful girl, great. In fact, at a funeral, they quoted that from Holland's Opus. Beautiful, 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 beautiful girl. That's right, I haven't done music yet. You don't happen to know Maxi Strange, do you? On here, his streams. He's a musician from Germany. Where's my pick? My guitar pick. Now maybe I really have misplaced it. And G will be lovely. So again, it's not something I'm open all the time about. So when you see the other person in here, if we say roommate, we're not trying to be dishonest or whatever. I mean, that's actually a way that some people would say is not being honest about being that. But anyway, I think my phrasing is a little rusty. I cannot explain myself so well in these topics. Pride is okay, in my opinion. Um, yeah, I'm not. No, I mean, all I ask is that you do your best. I'm very curious what you're referring to, and maybe I can help you understand it a little bit better. I mean, I'm not super active in a lot of the stuff, so I might not, but I've been around it, but would love to hear some more music. Oh my gosh, you think I have energy for that after this? No, just kidding. I will try. It's been almost 2.5 hours. Where the heck is G? I'm gonna go get him. During the week, during the day, which obviously you're in a different time zone than us. Here it is 7:30. Um, um, it is just me, but otherwise, I've been doing a lot of James Blunt music lately, actually. But I know there's that one song. Anyway, I'm just, I don't. It's not that I'm tense or whatever. I'm just tired, and this takes a certain amount of energy. Oh wow, you're a night owl then, or just not sleeping well, even though you got your stresses figured out. You're like, yeah, because anyway, yeah, because I'm watching you, obviously. I don't know if Elliot or Bezavu have sent me, basically photos of themselves and hey, how's it going? That way we have the option to talk that way, not just on here, in privacy as well, one on one sometimes. But hopefully I will see those messages after this stream, maybe. Um, I don't like when people say that when they kind of generalize a culture as all being the same, you know, as far as like every German is the same, every such and such is the same. Everybody's an individual, really. And I think that's sometimes why some people, I don't notice it often, thankfully, but why some people don't accept the community because let's be honest, some of the people in it, not trying to be mean or anything, are very dramatic and almost aggressive, you know? And I'm not that much like that most of the time. You're asking Elliot to do so? Oh, you're asking him to type it. Why are you asking me? What's up about that? Speaking about dramatic, you want drama, I'll give it to you. Okay, no. I mean, and that's something else I want to just quickly clarify, though. And I think you already realize this. You realize the importance of talking and being able to support each other, uh, and all that. But talking about stress is not necessarily the same as drama. It seems like some people think it is. They're like it just makes them so uncomfortable that I don't know how to word it, but I have felt that some people sometimes, not from me personally, but it's in general, they're sometimes too dramatic. But I feel like it may have meant more than that. Um, there isn't a way, but there is a way. And let's just sit with that for a moment. um, yeah, I don't personally, I mean, at this point in time in my life, it's a quieter chapter. So I can't even think of any Germans other than that guy I was mentioning who was a fellow streamer that I've actually known. I did have, actually, he was Austrian, but I believe that's next to Germany. And then there's a show I watched, and there was a German lady that I kind of liked. Actually, she was Austrian too. But I had a cooking teacher in high school. Uh, I'll catch up as I catch up. I have ADHD. You haven't been worried about it thus far by the seams of it. Uh, but I don't want to disturb him mid phrase. I'm always mid phrase. I'm always disturbed. Just kidding. um, I want you to meet G. I want you to. So hopefully you don't have a lot of plans that you need to be rested for tomorrow, Bujaboo. I mean, I know I'm not saying you can't take care of yourself, but I know that you're having so much fun here, and I just want you to think about that if you need to. Um, so I'm gonna twice, but I'm gonna let people don't know about it, but the likelihood that they'd be able to. I might probably this later, but so stay tuned. I'm gonna go get the other person in the house. He'll play some classical piano. While he is doing that, um, I have some songs up on here that I want to look at, and technically, I have some songs on here with a bunch of things opened since then. When I went to YouTube to check out your channel, actually, I can close that because it doesn't look like you don't play. You don't play Brainwatt, do you, Bujaboo? Just the title of it, first of all, and second of all, I don't understand it. I'm gonna keep your channel open, actually, even though I have a gazillion things open right now, because, and yes, I hate exaggerating, and it wasn't exaggerating, but I'm easily suggestible. Every time you go onto like YT or Facebook or other songs or the weather or shopping or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, I might want to look at that later. Oh, okay, I might want to look at that later. And I'm probably not exaggerating to say that I probably have. Oh, and right now I've been in a slower patch, so when I'm not live streaming or occasionally doing something else, I'm online a lot, and I probably have 200 tabs open. Yeah, yeah, I know. I like a lot of stuff. What can I say? But to anybody that wants to make a stupid guess, I know it's not YouTube, but um, I will stay tuned for maybe like 20 to 30 minutes more. Yeah, and you've already been here for a while, so I appreciate that. So, because yeah, I definitely see some song ideas I want to look at. I also have to, I mean, we can have late dinners and it's a Saturday and we don't have much going on tomorrow, but and even though it's been fun, it takes a lot of energy to run a stream, and I have chronic fatigue syndrome and this and that. So, technically, I don't have an appetite right now, but I'm hoping to get one soon. And whether we're going out for dinner or not, I don't know. So, what I'm gonna do, okay, is that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna go and get the other person who's in the home because it's the weekend, and it's the daytime. Or because it's the weekend. If it was daytime and during the week, he wouldn't be. I'm going to set up things over here on this device, or I mean, over here at the piano, which is, well, actually, I don't know whether we're going to want these lights on anyway. I don't know whether he's going to want piano or keyboard. Last time he was at the keyboard, though, he was a little particular about some things sitting on it. And again, you probably will figure out who this is, but you're the only two here right now, and nobody else needs to know. No one needs to know right now. And in my night, they don't know. And it right, but not only. Shania Twain from my hometown originally. So there's a little bit of singing because one of you hadn't heard it yet. So there you have it. Also, there's this stuff. I'll say if he's going to be particular, he'll go over there. If he's not, he can be here. I'll leave the option up to him. When do you usually? Whenever I feel like it and I'm available. I mean, kind of, though. I mean, seriously. If I'm awake and I'm bored and I want to chat and I want to do music and I'm not doing anything else, which I am a little bit busier. I've got 2 things on next week scheduled and maybe an errand or 2 as well. But yeah, hit the bell and get up. I'll be right back. That's how it should be. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we shouldn't all do anything we feel like, and you know, within reason. You know, we got to be good people too. But you guys don't need to hear that. But the third person hasn't introduced themselves yet. I'm sure you're a great person. Feel free to join the conversation. We're going to be doing some music soon. This is a cool spot to stop and talk for a moment. We're going to be doing some music soon. We're going to be having fun. So, and I would say song requests, but I think between what G is going to do and what I'm going to do, or what I'm kind of already looking at in the mix, I don't think we need any today. So any song requests can be next time. Okay, 20 or 30 minutes. That was a good amount of time to still give. I don't know if you're still outside smoking. I guess you live in an apartment. You can't smoke inside or just don't like to. But I don't want to sit here and ramble all the way through that and you not get to see G. And he should be down here by now. Come on. And hopefully this continues to go on. You're still at it. Double header. That doesn't mean you can't come and lighten the load a little bit and give me a bit of a rest and hopefully not say anything embarrassing. Anyway, they're looking forward. There's been money given. There's a great chat. And they're looking forward, and one can't stay too much longer. The classical piano. Okay. Either on the keyboard or the piano. Sorry, I didn't know you wanted me down. Of course I want you down. Anyway, let's talk to the CV. Anyway, and come down very, very quickly. Thank you. Oh, the song stopped. Perfect timing. Go, let me get your. Although later they thought he did it. That's true. I'm just thinking of your accents now, and also I wanted to ask, Buju, is that your name? It sounds more French, but it's not. That it could be French German. Okay. Sorry. Here. Like I say, bro, dude, mate, bruh, yo, jumping right into conversation, leading, healing, all works. Maybe it's just a lot, but yeah. But I mean, that's not all of it. So yeah. But yeah. So and that's funny that while I was away, you thought to mention that, and I thought to ask you as well. I kind of would prefer a nickname, another nickname that you might have, or your actual name if it's not that, because, well, if we're talking about religion, that sounds like, I know that, you know, a lot of people hate on that. Also sounds like a candy, although that's pretty sweet. It also sounds like martial arts. And I don't feel like I don't feel like that would, that would roll off my tongue very well. So if there's another nickname that you have, or I'll just converse with you and I don't have to call you anything. You'll probably recognize what comments of yours that I'm acknowledging, and that's good. I'm just not going to call you late for dinner, because if you're having dinner at 2 or 3 a.m., you're very late for dinner, which is the thing I want to just quickly talk with G about before we figure out what he's going to do. If you have any particular classical instruments that you'd like to, or classical songs you'd like to hear, let me know. I may or may not do more music in this myself. And as far as the other question, I'll try and be in the chat a little bit too. But yeah, you got holes in that.
Oh.
Not necessarily the nicest shirt.
Oh,
Sorry.
should I put on my hoodie?
That might help, except for the one in the center. So it looks quite nice out. Whether you get it or not, I know you do. Those are some dark clouds though, but they're way over there.
You could take Sunny for a walk.
Hey, you already did that, and we're not being particular because it's the first name. I think it is. But anyway, oh, you're not going to go on the keyboard?
No.
What would you guys rather, keyboard or guitar? I mean, keyboard or piano? And
They want something.
the keyboard, you could do classical stuff in like a country background, or
No, I'm not really actually.
you should get into doing that. But I guess that might take a little bit of
There'd be a learning curve.
yes and no. I guess I've been through that learning
But if
curve.
somebody wants.
He's saying keyboard, all the way from Germany. So, well, suddenly it got very bright in this room. I mean, well, we will want this later. But before you start, like I said, just because I don't want to put it off and then say, oh, we didn't do it, and
Sure.
So should we see about doing it for dinner instead?
Well, no, I'll do something if you want something classical.
Because I don't know if I really want what we. Well, sorry. What?
If you want me to do something classical on the keyboard, I'll do something.
Okay, but I'm just talking about like after we roll for another somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour. Shall we go to where tonight?
No, I think it'd be nice.
Because it's a nice mix of sun and clouds today. There's a nice breeze, which I would appreciate, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you asked for my answer. I gave it.
As did I.
Yes. Well,
So we go.
I'm trying to do it halfway. Talk about what.
But I got the place in mind. So
Now, of course.
Just a moment, please.
Yeah.
and I'll do this tomorrow because if we don't do the thing tomorrow, then I'll need something other than live stream. So, okay, you were gonna put on a hoodie
Okay. Yes.
so that it's good in the hood. Ah, he's so particular. He doesn't like the chair with the comfy chair with the cushions in the back. He wants because he's a classical and he's playing classical music. He wants to be on the edge of his seat on the well, yeah, you can put it here. Put it here, please. I want to keep all this stuff together. Thank you. Anyway, the only thing is I have not known where my tripod's been.
Whoopsie.
Let me just see here. I think this will work.
I
Just
wouldn't
fine.
mind having the light on, of course. Because I see how it's.
Okay. Okay.
Oh dear.
Anyway, hoodie. Sorry for the long setup, but it will be worth it. I'm just looking for something to. I used to have this thing I used to lean them on, but I've been using other things instead, and so I don't really know where that thing is. Usually, I wouldn't have thought it was super far away, but. So I would like to have a.
I need more light, so I'm just going to go upstairs and turn on the light.
Can you not? Oh, can't, eh?
No, I turned it. I tried it.
We have a weird light switch that.
Yes.
Yeah, the third person too. I think. Then again, you're right with me. I'm a good person, trying to do good, and yeah, we've got two people that are both 26 watching. Ironically, but yeah, we're just here spreading the goodness, music and otherwise.
Oh, I should get the Beethoven, of course.
Is that what spreading the goodness makes you think about?
Of course, it's Beethoven, right?
Oh, you may have put that in there earlier today, but so yeah, what would work? Don't say what we might use, but this might. Really sorry that it's taken so long, folks, but I trust for you have your understanding. And then watch for that other thing. I might try and put that in there. I don't really know. This would work.
What's happening?
Oh no, I accidentally clicked share something that I didn't, but it was a button I didn't want to click. Okay, so after like 30 or 40 minutes, it's overnight, maybe it wouldn't be as busy
Hello.
at that time, hopefully.
So,
It'd be nice to get out of the house for a little while and do that.
okay, sure.
Okay. So we've got
More likes, please.
sorry? No, hey. Yeah,
What?
well I wouldn't mind getting to 7. I thought we had, but so you've got Elliot and just call him Boozer, but I hope he thinks of another thing to give us. And
Whoopsie, that's not well done.
so okay, so I don't have to worry about cooking or look at music.
Ah,
Right now it's perfect. So we're doing this for you all, guys. Because right now, I mean, it's already kind of late. It'll be a late dinner, anyways. But no, we're not doing it. Yeah, I mean, it's only going to get colder as it gets. Well, let me just step outside. Who is this person that keeps walking around? In this?
So yes, I have with me some. Oh, I should get the Scarlatti, of course.
Don't try not to
I'm
take much
terrible.
longer than we already have, eh?
Yes, but I'll play something and then I'll go get something. I'm just thinking that since, of course, this marvelous keyboard here has a harpsichord setting, I think this is a.
I'll go stand outside and see what I think of it.
I don't think the dog likes the harpsichord. Anyway, so yes,
Just a quick question.
he has a quick
Um,
question.
And also,
And you know,
yeah,
you
it's not bad,
you won't-
but to sit
there's a
on-
little hole in my shirt,
Yeah,
which
you
is
can't
not
quite see.
really
But
not
to-
really
to-
hidden
to-
by the
Sit
hoodie.
right on this. I
Yeah.
don't know how it's gonna be, but we have been inside, and then we'll have one through, so it will hopefully be okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna play.
I hope
a piece-
it won't be as fast, but I think they constantly make it till they close.
Sure.
Did you give me this at one point in time?
I probably did.
I don't recognize it, and I'm thinking because of the one thing
Oh.
said.
No. Well, if I had given it to you.
The instruments sound
It's
the same.
because
The same as
it's-
what?
Oh,
Can
cool.
you play this song from Bubba O'Reilly? I will look into that because I'm familiar with it. But right now, I'm
Anyway,
going
I'm
to go
trying. He asked me a question
Okay.
about this, so I probably took this from home from work,
Okay.
where probably
So
somebody
you're taking-
accidentally included it
Okay.
And
well,
it's
that's
probably
good
because it
they've
has a
been missing
very
the
old
key-
Canadian
one key for the
penny
longest time.
embedded inside it. If you look at it, you'll see
Okay, we'll
there's.
talk more about that later.
But what I'm going to play instead here is a little bit of. Schubert. big orchestral sign off, I guess. There you have it. That, of course, was improvised the bit after the Moment Musical #6 by Franz Schubert. I'm working on my French accent. It's better than my other accents. Okay, so last time around, thank you.
What did I miss?
ELZ.
I really appreciate the artistry going on
Yeah, I appreciate the comment.
right now. It's short for Elliot. Yeah.
There's
He played some notes on the piano, and it sounded like a song. The Who from. Oh, okay. Is that the one that out here in the fields? If I burn. And then there's one part that's a little bit awkward. Hey, that was working just okay. Whatever.
No.
Can you stop?
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. Anyway, what else would be there? Anyway, what are you calling it? But yeah, and if it is, I might not cover that one. I didn't notice. I would have thought I would have. Got pants on the ground.
Oh dear.
Funny, we were talking about the guest the other day.
Forgotten these.
What are they? Oh, well, at this rate. Anyway, so
There's other voices.
a little bit longer. We've got 4 of you here. Darren, I hope you're seeing my comments to you, some of them. Okay. I'm a smidgen getting hungry. By the time we get there, and hopefully before the sun goes down, I definitely will be. I don't like to have it right on top of the speaker.
Well, yeah.
I guess that works.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
So he'll do a couple, or do a little bit more, and then look at the days are longer, but it's almost 8:30.
It is 8:03.
Oh my gosh.
That's not classical. Where did my Beethoven go?
Not sure. I haven't touched it.
Oh,
Much appreciated. Okay. I will have to leave shortly. It's 2 a.m. Yeah. For both of you, actually, one of you, it's a little bit later here, and I must sleep. No, understandable. You've been here most of the time, so I appreciate it. And you donated, and you've been great to chat with.
well,
We'll be
good,
back to
thank you.
support tomorrow. Okay. I look forward to that. I guess I will roll tomorrow. Then no, I was glad to anyway, and it's to see the regulars and meet the newbies. So me too. Have a good night. I will be back. Okay, great. Any particular time that works good for you? Out of curiosity, right now it's 8:03 at night.
Yes.
And so you can do the conversion there, and we're almost at a payout, and then we made the cash today. And then also, it's just nice to have you here. Like I wouldn't be any earlier than 10 or 11 our time, and it says there's only one of you here, so I might just be saying that's one of you then. Hopefully, at least it's one of you. Which reminds me, I'm also going to very quickly do that other thing I said I was going to do. So watch for it in the chat, and then other than that. Since we might not be going out tomorrow, it's a little bit more flexible, when we do our night.
All right. You could just have some ordinary piano here. But maybe that would sound better with strings too. Does that sound better with string? How about pizzicato? Pick bass? No. don't want it too loud. Pianissimo. No, I didn't.
No, we're talking to Bridget before he goes to sleep.
Oh,
because they're
okay.
playing relaxing music and it's 2 or 3 a.m.
Relaxing. A lot of relaxing music.
But it's lovely.
A number of years ago, there was a one-hit wonder group, duo twosome, Johnny Scarbeck and Louise Tucker. Oh, he's saying, "Be right there." He doesn't want me to say. Anyway, they put this piece to music, and at the time I thought, "Oh, that's a really beautiful piece." There's this midnight blue, so lonely without you.
Sings that song.
Dreams sped by the
Sings that
memory.
Well, they looked at the big long comment to see.
Oh,
It's okay. I'm leaving now as falling asleep, but a
Okay.
beautiful piano melody to fall asleep to. have got you read
Oh,
a wonderful stream. Yeah, so feel free to send it yourself. At the moment, I'm not seeing it myself, but I don't think it'd be very likely, although it's near the bottom, that others would. Okay. Yeah, okay, perfect. So, okay, since you're going to bed, we're going to dinner, and nobody else seems to be here now because the other person went to bed, and the other one, I'll just say really quickly, he was using a word that I said I didn't like him using, and he kept using it, and then he seemed to have left, although he has device issues sometimes. I've seen a few of his streams. Some people might look at him and think certain things that may or may not be accurate, but, we got to try not to do that, right? But I was going to be on his stream. He was going to interview me. He's in the Carolinas, but, well, so I can't not say it. Maybe it's a habit he has. Either way, Anyway, so we were one less mod, but we got 2 viewers. Oh, actually, that's you that came in, Els. I had been under the, because a moment ago, I just tried to tag Bajou, and then I tried to tag you, and I could only tag him, so I figured that meant that you left, but maybe you came back because you knew I was going to be putting it or something. Either way, so or you're like, I came back because I was loving it so much and I want to fall asleep to it, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, so is there a particular time that works best for you tomorrow? Keeping in mind that here it is about 8:15, and I would have been all, petty and this and that of the dog, but he was being a little worked up, so. But he's in there now, so yeah, it's a little bit later, but hopefully it'll still taste fresh. Because once we bought it, we can't, say, oh, this has been sitting here. But I'm hoping that because I looked it up, they're open till 10, so I'm hoping they're churning out fresh stuff till at least 9:30.
oh, yeah, there should be. Who is this again?
I'm not going to say it here, and
Okay, well,
I thought you already realized where. But anyway, so we're wrapping it up. I haven't heard you say what time would be best for you. Maybe you don't know. Maybe I don't know either yet. But I'm sure that, after sleeping in and waking up for a few minutes or whatever, getting downstairs and being downstairs and sipping coffee for a few moments, I'll probably roll. It'll probably be about 10-ish a.m. Central Standard. So,
early by their time if they're in Germany.
well, this one's in the UK, so that'd be 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m.
There's
And I don't know the difference between Germany. I didn't know that you processed that I said they
they were 7 hours behind.
I'm trying to remember what it was for
Oh,
Maxi.
they're 7 hours ahead of us?
I'm trying to remember. I just know that I watched them around the same time I usually watch You Know Who and You Know Who.
They're 7 hours. I guess they're 7 hours ahead. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's how it would work.
I'd known he's went to bed, so we can't find out.